Welcome into episode 39 of JD's Empire Sports Talk. Of course, JD here with you once again, and CT is back. Of course, CT's been on the show twice already. We're trying to get him on last week and even this week, and a lot of different time changes have happened, but we finally got this to go. We'll do a recap of both the Mets and the Yankees month plus of the regular season so far. Both teams are in first place, but we still definitely have a little bit to complain about. And I know with CT's notes that he put together, some things he's not too happy about, and also some surprises that he's very excited to see certain guys stepping up. But before we get that going, CT, how we doing? Good?
Feel really good. The weather's nice outside. Baseball's back. Got playoff basketball too.
Oh yeah,
It's been
it's
great.
starting to get it's starting to get warm out. Of course, as we hit the summertime, which means the dog days of summer of baseball will be here before you know it. But for now, baseball is definitely fresh in everyone's mind. And in New York City, it's doing well. Mets are at 22 and 13, leading the NL East by 2.5 games, and then their crosstown rival, the New York Yankees, 19 and 15 in the AL East, leading their division by 2 games. Both divisions are a little weird right now because it feels like there's a team I think, in my opinion, that should be better in both sides. Orioles and Braves, both teams should be better than what their record is. I think with time, though, they will improve. But I mean, for the Mets and Yankees, why would you complain when both of those teams are underperforming? It just helps you out a little more. But both the Mets and Yankees, top three in all of baseball in run differential, which I think is a big stat to look at. I know CT, you've mentioned this a few times to me over time, like when we text and just talk about baseball. The run differential usually represents if you're a good team or not, because we've always seen those teams that win like 80 something games, maybe sneak to 90 wins, but that run differential is low. And then when they get to the playoffs, they
hmm
usually get smacked around. So I think we're not even gassing up both the Mets and the Yankees right now. I think it's true to say that both of these teams are up there in the top of baseball. Any little thoughts you want to give before we definitely get into like the breakdowns of like the positions like we've been doing? Any like overall output or input, I should say, about just what's going on in baseball so far?
Yeah, I said the Yankees have been, hovering around 500, a little over 500 right now, and it's good that we got the Subway Series coming up between the Mets and the Yankees coming up,
Yeah,
and also to talk about your differential.
yeah.
I mean, there's been times when the Yankees they pound on starters that don't have it that day, or just quite frankly just throwing meatballs. They absolutely destroy teams, like put 15, 20 runs on the board. And that certainly helped them run differential too.
Yeah, definitely. And the one thing I did want to ask you about, I know I just briefly mentioned it, but the Orioles and the Braves, I know both teams that should be very good right now, and they're not. Do you think that they will stay where they are, or do you? Well, I don't think so, but I want to hear what you have to say. Do you think they're going to stay where they are? Where that's definitely an advantage for both Mets and Yankees here because both of those teams have outstanding players. They're just not living up to the expectations.
Yeah, in terms of the Braves size, I definitely believe they're going to get better over the course of the season. I mean, they started out 0-7, and now they're right around 500. I mean, they're playing better baseball lately, but
Yeah,
I think
already.
they're going to get hot. Yeah, as the season continues, especially June and July, I expect them to get on the streak. And in terms of the Orioles, it's really the pitching. Pitching's not very good. Like they got this, I forgot his name. I think it's Sagono from the
Yeah, the
Orioles. I mean,
Japanese pitcher. Yeah.
he looks like Tanaka. He wore the number 19, and I swear I thought it was Tanaka at first, but he's doing well. But other than that, they don't really have pitching over there.
Yeah. Um, But I can say this, well, perfect segue right there for a team that does have pitching. We'll skip around just a little bit, but we'll hit the hitting after this. The starting pitching for the Yankees, Max Fried, man. I know you had him in his notes. You're very excited about what he's been able to do as pretty much the ace of the staff right now. And I remember about a month ago, a little over a month ago, last time we talked here, we said they needed one of those guys to step up. I mean, we did mention Stroman at the time, but we know what happened with that. But Fried and Rodon to possibly step up as being the ace with Cole going down. And I think Fried has been advertised, and I think even better. I honestly, as for me, as an outsider watching the Yankees, when he pitches, I'm like, damn, I actually kind of want to watch the game. I want to see what he does. And for me, as a Mets fan, saying I want to watch the Yankees, that never happens. But Fried, he's been terrific. Rodon, another guy, I think he's just looking for the consistency, like I know you're going to talk about when I give you the time obviously here. But I think he's looking for the more consistency be in between starts, like obviously when he pitches every fourth day or fifth day, and then during starts as well, because he can have that blow up inning. When you look back, I remember it was a few weeks ago. I was watching a pitch against Detroit. He pitched like five or
Hmm.
six innings that day, gave up like 5 runs, but he only had one bad inning. I think he gave up like 2 hits, and they were both home runs. So you take that away, and you become more
Hmm.
consistent. He's another guy that they can count on. Take me through the other guys in the starting rotation, and then come back to or whoever you want to start with. Just go ahead and dissect the starting rotation, and then we'll talk about the bullpen next.
I mean, in terms of the starting rotation, it's really two guys that you really can depend on. Obviously, Max Fried, he's been phenomenal. He's been dealing so far this year. I mean, when he's starting, I saw a stat. He's 7-0 when the Yankees are 7-0 when he starts,
Start
and
there.
then when he doesn't, the 12-15. I mean, he's a potential MVP candidate if this continues, and he's looking like a Cy Young right now. In terms of Carlos Rodon, I mean, he's been really good lately. He's been picking it up. Every time he steps on the mound, he's giving them 5+ innings, so he's been really good, giving them length, and he's going deep into ball games. And as you said, it's like it happened early in the year where he pitched well for like the first 3 to 4 innings, and then you just have a blow up inning where just everything just goes south. But other than that, I'm pleased with Carlos Rodon. His ERA is really good. He's pitching really well. He's 4-3 in his starts, and he's been competitive. And the other guys, I mean, in terms of like the 3, 4, 5 in the rotation, hopefully that gets better, and hopefully they can get a move at the trade deadline.
Yeah, I was just about to, that was my next point here. Perfect right there. Uh, Is there a certain name maybe you want as a starting pitcher? I know it's very early, we're only in May, but it seems like the stars are aligning that the Yankees are going to go out and get a starting pitcher. Maybe two, maybe they'll do two small moves just to shore it up a little more. I know Clark Schmidt is back now, but he still isn't obviously like what he could be. I think that'll come with time. But I do think they need a starter or two. Maybe you just go out, make a splash move for one big name, or you could do that little, like the two guys. Anyone specific out there that you really are thinking of, or you kind of just hoping for anybody that can be better than maybe what the back end of this rotation has provided, which hasn't been a whole lot. I know that watching and checking like stats and stuff like that, the back of the rotation really has struggled to say the least.
So a couple of names that come to mind is definitely Framber Valdez from the Astros. If they're looking to sell at the trade deadline and not
Yeah,
become buyers, but you know the Astros. I mean, they're normally not sellers, and that's just
and
me
trade him
being
with the Yankees
optimistic. Yeah,
too, and trade him with the Yankees. I don't know if they'll do
that's
that.
most likely not going to happen, but that'd be great though.
Good to dream
But
about.
another name that comes to mind is definitely Sandy. Like I believe everybody's going to come after him from the Marlins.
Alcantara, yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah,
The
really
whole
good
league is
pitcher.
going to want him. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, the Yankees could use him big time. I mean, the Yankees and Marlins have been practically trade partners over the years.
Yeah, I
Kind
mean,
of Jazz, a stand, yeah.
yeah, I was going to say that, and it's good to have a connection. That's what I was going to get to there. Maybe that will help in the situation where they this time. And I'm not saying those other guys they didn't need them, but this is probably more urgent than those other trades, especially as a pitcher. And even you can look in the future. You have Cole and those two, Cole, Freed, and Alcantara at the top of that rotation. If that were to happen, it doesn't just set you up for like success this year, but definitely long term. But let's go to the bullpen where. The long-term outlook of the closer's role is, I think, still up in the air a little bit. I know Luke Weaver's taken over for Devin Williams, who struggled very, very badly. I always joke around lately saying that Pete Alonso broke him in the closer's role. But all jokes aside, Devin Williams definitely did struggle in the closer's role, but now he looks like he's settled in a little bit. Maybe it was just a comfort thing. I know coming from Milwaukee to New York is definitely not easy. It's a totally different market. We know that. If you have one bad outing, I'm sure they boo you out of there. I know Yankee fans are in love with
Oh
Luke
yeah.
Weaver. They love Luke Weaver and they wanted him to be the closer right away. Like right quick. Devin Williams, I think, blew 2 saves or whatever the case was, and they wanted Luke Weaver in there right away. Um, and that's tough. But I think the bullpen overall has been pretty solid. I know you were talking to me about that as well. Take me through like the whole bullpen. Really isn't any holes, and the one hole I guess you could say was Devin Williams. It looks like they shored that up a little bit just for now. And I got one question after. I want to see if you hit it or not, and then if not, I'll ask you anyway.
I would say the bullpen's been really good overall. It's like top five, top 10 in the league. Really good bullpen. It's dependable. And Luke Weaver, I mean, over these last 2 seasons, he's really good at his role. He's a potential all-star candidate as well. He really shuts the door when he comes in the ninth inning. In terms of Devin Williams, I mean, it's hard to come from a market like Milwaukee coming into New York. It's a different media outlet. Everybody's talking about you 24/7. So that's a big time adjustment. And overall on the mound, it was really, I believe it's really fastball command because when he's not able to command the fastball, you become a one pitch pitcher with just the changeup, the air bender. I mean, it becomes a lot more predictable to hit, especially when you're throwing it all the time in the zone. So it seems like Devin Williams is picking it up and it's getting more comfortable as a setup man.
Yeah, I was about to say the question I have, but before that, with Devin Williams, the fastball command, any pitcher, obviously, if you don't have your fastball command, it's not really going to end well for you. It's either you're definitely not throwing strikes, and then when you somehow get that over for a strike, it's going to get hit. And then he's a closer, obviously, so you don't need to have four, five, six pitches. You only have two, pretty much. And then when you only have one
Right.
pitch, because you can't throw another one, you're bound to get hit. But my
It's
question
hard
within
if you're not like Mariano Rivera.
exactly, exactly. And the one question I had was, do you think Devin Williams will be back in the closer's role at all? I was going to say maybe in a few weeks, a few months, maybe playoffs, whatever it is. Do you think that's going to happen? Or because that's what they traded for him, obviously. That's why they wanted him. They kind of was like they got rid of Clay Holmes to get him, which I mean, I couldn't blame the Yankees organization for doing that because Clay Holmes was not great in the closer's role, and he had to even get taken out of it pretty much in and out of it last year. And I thought that the Yankees probably thought that Evan Williams would be that guy. So do you think that just because they made that trade that they will try to get him back in that closer's role, or do you think if Luke Weaver has just been he's been terrific, do you think they even want to mess around with that now and just keep Devin Williams in the setup man role?
I think it's really going to depend on how well Luke Weaver's playing it, playing in that role. Like if Luke Weaver continues to come out and dominate the ninth inning, it's going to be really hard for the Yankees to replace that with Devin Williams. Even though they traded for him to be the closer,
Yeah.
it's really going to be determined how Luke Weaver pitches the rest of the season.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was looking for there because not just the Yankees, but every team when they have their guy they want to go get. That's even if you draft someone and you see it in the NFL all the time. They draft a guy, they usually stick with that guy longer, maybe, than something else. And in this case, it's a trade. I thought they would maybe stick with him a little longer. That wasn't the case. And now maybe if going back to him could be a little different as well. But I just want to get before we move on to the Mets your overall like maybe give a grade or just even not even a grade, just a little uh team performance, like what you think the Yankees have done so far a month plus into the season, and then what were you gonna look for in the coming month?
Team grade, I would say it's around. I saw a grading by some insiders gave it a B plus, and I honestly agree with that rating. I mean, I think the Yankees are a B plus right now. I mean, 4 games over 500, considering the guys that are on the roster. I mean, I would say that's pretty good. Plus, you got guys on the IL still, and Luis Hill and Stanton, and Jazz is now on the IL. I mean, with everything considered, I'd say they're off to a pretty good start.
All right. I was gonna say also, it doesn't seem like the depth is all there for the Yankees this year, from what I've seen, compared to past years, where it seems like they can have a got starter that maybe goes out for a little bit, and they have someone that's just as good to replace them. Can you agree with that? Do you think that the depth is a little down than normal?
I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. It's not as deep of a team as previous years, and you're relying on a lot of young guys this year.
Yeah, that's tough, but the one thing I did forget to go back to before, and I'm glad I caught it here, was the hitting. I think that's very important. I mean, baseball is obviously a team sport, and you need every aspect of the game to hit. And before we get to the Mets, I just wanted to talk about that. So the Yankees so far, obviously, are led by Aaron Judge. I mean, he's putting up crazy numbers. I know you mentioned video game numbers, and I'll let you speak about him in a little bit. But they are led by Judge. Ben Rice has been a nice surprise. I know last year he came up hit for a little bit and then kind of fell off a cliff. but so far it looks like he's been consistent. Nice lefty bat, not to replace Soto, but obviously make up for him not being there. Um, Paul Goldschmidt, another guy, resurgent year from the older first baseman, veteran type guy. Honestly, I didn't expect him to be this good. And let's face it, the Yankees haven't really got any first base production the past few years. With obviously Rizzo was there, but he was injured a lot, had problems staying healthy. And I think if Goldschmidt hit 250, I think Yankee fans would be ecstatic about it. The fact that he's hitting over 300 and is almost in the, I think he's what, in the top three in batting average in the entire league. And I'm sure his slugging percentage is up there, all that good stuff. He's been terrific. And then Trent Grisham, I know you love him, and in your notes I can tell that you're really a huge fan of Trent Grisham. Take me through those four. I would say the hitting leaders right now, and then I have one more question about Trent Grisham after that.
I mean, we gotta go. The man, the myth, the legend, Aaron Judge. He's been unbelievable so far. He's playing at an MVP level. Honestly, the way he's playing, they should give a MVP trophy to whoever finishes in second because this is ridiculous what he's doing right now. Video game numbers. I mean, he's exceeding even his high expectations. And they were high heading into the season because he was an MVP last year. So he's been remarkable, leading every offensive statistical category basically in the league. And Ben Rice, he's been phenomenal too. The added weight really helped him in the offseason. He added some muscle, and the swing looks really good, so that's really helping him. And Paul Goldschmidt's been phenomenal so far. He's giving the Yankees everything and more. Up there in batting average, he gets on base. He's been raking so far, and kudos to him. And also Trent Grisham, he's been fantastic. Even towards the end of last season too. I mean, he's been really good for the Yankees, and he really stars in his role.
Yeah, my next question was going to be about Trent Grisham in the sense of last year, he really didn't have any, like he was obviously was on the team playing, but his playing time was very, very low. He came over in the trade with Soto, so people were just like, oh, he's just a throw in, just to help salary move, and he really has been like, not I wouldn't say like a full out leader, but he definitely has been like a good clubhouse guy. And now his play has been terrific. I know it was a few games I checked that he's hitting leadoff. I don't think anyone would have expected that last year. And you know what his defense is going to bring, and that was my question. Um, you knew the defense was going to be there, but I don't think anyone thought the bat was going to be like this, right?
Not completely like this. I mean, we saw flashes last year of Trent Grisham playing really, really well, but this year he's really putting it together. And the man never complains, even when he doesn't play. He's a true professional. He comes in, and then when he does play, he really produces. He works really, really hard, and when he get on the field, he gives it everything that he's got, and he's really playing great baseball right now for the Yankees, and it's much needed.
Yeah. Especially with Bellinger struggling a little bit, so it's good to see someone step up right there. I know the Yankees, what was it? They lost 4 out of 6 this past week or so against
Correct.
division, right? So that's something that I think we need to keep an eye on because the division's very close. I know it's only May, we can overreact and all that stuff, but um, big week ahead for the Yankees, of course, and huge May because obviously teams that usually start out good in the first 2 months of the year usually can keep it up for throughout the entire season. We always seen that one team, like of course, like the Mets last year, Nationals a few years back, where they struggle in the beginning and they make up for it. But usually, um, that's the case. Teams that start out great usually end up that way. And we'll move on to the Mets here. They're doing good. I could say they're doing good, but I think there's some room to improve as well. Also dealing with the injuries like every other team. But we'll start with the hitting. I wanted to get your input on this. So right now, Alonso and Lindor, of course, are carrying the team. McNeil and Alvarez are back. I wanted to ask you before we'll get to of course, the elephant in the room, Juan Soto, but McNeil and Alvarez being back. I know Acuna's like kind of stuck right now. They're trying to get him out there every day. They put him at third base yesterday, second base, of course. I think they should put him in the outfield, but I've been hearing and just like every time I talk about this with fellow Met fans and stuff like that, they're saying like yes, he could play the outfield. He's very much capable of doing that. but he's very comfortable at second base. And for a young player, when he's having success, you don't want to mess with that. Do you agree with that, or do you think that they? I understand they're trying to protect the young player, but I think to make this team better, him playing the outfield some days will benefit everybody. What do you think about that? Do you think it's more so of them protecting him, or do you think they should just full send it and be like, okay, you're gonna play outfield, you're gonna play third, second, everywhere, just to make this team better?
I mean, it's something that you can experiment throughout the regular season in terms of trying to put him out in the outfield, see if you can get your better bats in the lineup.
Yeah.
But overall, like you gotta find a spot where like he's comfortable at, where he can go in and he hits to the best of his abilities wherever he's at, whether it's second base, third, the outfield. And it seems like he's playing well at second base, and I saw he was the NL Rookie of the Month.
Yeah, he's been very, very good for this team. I know he was up last year, similar to Ben Rice, where they came up for a short amount of time, had success, and then once the playoffs came, it kind of he just was took a back seat to, of course, Jose Iglesias. He was a great story, and Acuna learned. I think that was beneficial for him though to be on the bench during that deep playoff run. Of course, the elephant in the room, like I just mentioned, Juan Soto. Uh, he's been struggling this year, but I don't think I think it's turning around. I don't know if this is just me being a Mets fan, but he had 2 home runs in the last game of the homestand against Arizona. He had 2 hits in the first game against the Cardinals on Friday night. Then he had a hit in game one of the doubleheader, and then game two he came away 1 for 5. But I mean, he should have had 4 hits in that game. He got robbed of a home run. He got robbed. I know it wasn't in play, but Arenado made a really crazy play in foul territory. Maybe he could have gotten a hit at bat. I'm just making it up there, but he could have had definitely the home run. That was definitely for sure a hit. Uh, of course, if
Yeah, I
that
saw that. That was a
Robin,
nice grab.
yeah, that would have been a 3-run homer. I think that would have changed that game as well. Um, what's your take on Soto? Because I know Yankee fans can be very happy right now, smiling that he's not having success. But I just want to hear what you got to say because we haven't talked about it that much, and you haven't clowned me as well overall so far. I know you're probably waiting another couple of weeks to do that, but what do you think about Soto and the slow start we can say?
I mean, I guess I'm waiting to, to the Subway Series, but overall, Minnesota, I believe he's picking it up lately. He's starting to get comfortable in City Field because it's a different ballpark, it's a different team. You know, you got different guys in the lineup. I mean, it's a huge difference between hitting in front of Pete Alonso and then hitting in front of Aaron Judge, as he talked about before early in the season. But overall, I believe Wanso has picked it up lately and he's playing better. He's hitting a lot better.
Yeah, I just I liked how you mentioned that Aaron Judge Pete Alonso thing. It's like, all right, so Alonso is not putting up what Aaron Judge is doing. Of course, no one is matching that, but Alonso isn't too far behind him. And I think that just for me watching games, I feel like Soto is getting more than enough pitches to hit it, just trying to be too selective. I don't know if that's maybe the nerves of like you said, trying to adjust to a new team. Because of course he's in the same like city, New York, but it's a different thing. You're on a different team, like learning different guys, what their tendencies are. And I think that if he's just a little more aggressive, maybe earlier in the count, I feel he could be hitting better. It seems like he's trying to hit that perfect pitch, which you're not always going to get that. Um, but we'll see what happens. I know I was. That's why I was happy you said about the Subway Series. That's when you'll start clowning me. Hopefully he hits like 5 home runs that series, and then the Met fans can clown back. And hopefully he's hitting a consistent rate by then as well, because it's only a little under 2 weeks away until the fireworks are definitely going to happen in that series. Of course, it's on the weekend as well, so all eyes
Oh
will be
yeah.
on that. But let's move to the starting rotation for the Mets, who don't have a lot of big names, but they're. I mean, I don't think it's mattered so far. Pretty consistent. I know they're in the tops of. I don't know if they're still first, but they're definitely up there in starting rotation ERA. And I remember last time we spoke, I had a lot of question marks about the rotation. And the one guy you told me, if I recall right, you said if Senga starts out great, the rotation's going to be great. And you were right. Senga has been terrific. I know little issue that I think people have with him, which is not really his fault, is just that he can't pitch on every fifth day like a normal like American pitcher because he's not used to that, and they don't want to get him hurt. So that's a little bit of a problem because it kind of seems like they're scrambling insert a starter every once in a while, and also they're banking on everyone else being able to pitch on those types of days of rest when they may not have done that before. Because maybe it seems easy, oh, this guy gets an extra day of rest, but if they've never done it, it's hard. So it doesn't only affect Senga, but I mean, the starting rotation has been great. So I'm just rambling a little bit. Um, but my surprise has been Griffin Canning. I don't know if you saw him pitch any at all this year, but he looks like a totally different guy. I remember every time I've seen him pitch for the Angels last year, it's like, damn, he got shelled today. He got shelled again. But for the Mets, he's been pretty good. Have you seen him at all? And then what's your take on the entire like rotation so far?
I haven't seen them one bit yet so far this year, but overall, I feel like the Mets starting rotations held up as in the bargain. I mean, they've been going pretty deep in the ball games, and they're allowing the Mets to stay in the games and not pitching them out of games.
Yeah, and I think that's most important when you have two starters that are on the mend, I would say. More so Sean Manaea, but Manaea and Montas both should be back within the next month or two. So that bodes even better for this team. But one part of the team that is suffering from the injury department, and it's unfortunate because the bullpen was outstanding up until about 2 weeks ago. AJ Minter and Danny Young, so both of the lefties that made the opening day roster, both are pretty much have significant injuries. I know Danny Young has been recommended for Tommy John, which I didn't think it was possible from a elbow sprain. That's a new one to me. I didn't know that an elbow sprain can cause you to get Tommy John, but that's where he's at. And then AJ Minter had the lat issue, but I think it's also with his arm. He has a major problem. So they have hopefully the significant injuries don't pile up because they need the bullpen to be. Of course, every team needs it, but they were pretty good, and then I feel like they've kind of fell off a little bit. Um, and I think AJ Moore and AJ Minter is very important. I know you've seen him pitch with the Braves and stuff like that. Do you think that his loss can be very detrimental to the pen as a whole because he had a lot of different roles and he was been pitching excellent in all of them.
I believe Agent Mentor is a big loss, and the Mets got to look to try to get a replacement for him, whether it's somebody in the minors, most likely not, but or at the trade deadline. I mean, that's a big loss to that bullpen because he is very versatile and he's a veteran. He knows how to get outs in big moments.
Yeah, I mean they just signed Brooks Raley, who blew his arm out last year, and then he'll be back in like a month or two. But of course, he can't be what AJ Minter has been. I mean, he's a good pitcher as well, but you never know. Um,
Mhm.
from an outsider perspective, what do you think the Mets? If you had to give them a grade for the first month or so, like you did with the Yankees, what would you give the Mets?
Well, it's definitely better. I'll give him around an A. It's an A because they're like 10 games over 500, playing really well, hitting. The pitching rotation's been really good. I'll give them around an A. They've been really well. I mean, they're doing really good right now.
Yeah. All right. They are 4-6 in their last 10 games, but the point I wanted to make with that was I think it was five of them they lost by a run or less. Of course, 2 runs. I think it was 2 runs or less. Sorry, because if it was a run or less, that wouldn't that wouldn't make sense. 2 runs
Yeah,
or less. Five of those six losses, so they very easily could have been 9-1, 8-2 in the last 10 games. So
yeah, they lost a close one in that doubleheader yesterday to the Cardinals.
yeah, they
Both
lost
games,
both.
1-1 ball games. Yeah.
Yeah, 6-5 and 5-4 as they look to turn it around against Arizona. But I'm glad you're able to come on for today's episode, just because we got to be proud of our teams right now. Both the Mets and Yankees, man, they're playing good baseball, both in first place. We really can't have too much to complain about when our teams are in first place. Looks like they're both going to get more healthy than injured within the next couple of weeks, and hopefully. Um, both teams are almost whole. I don't think they will be, but hopefully almost whole when we have the Subway Series coming up in about 2 weeks or 2 weeks from last Friday. So we're almost there, 10 days maybe at this point, whatever it is at Yankee Stadium. Hopefully we have beautiful weather there. And then probably the week after that, we'll probably have you come back on just to recap the whole month of May. And then if there's any fireworks that happen from the Subway Series, maybe we'll see a fight or something. Maybe there's someone that's pissed off. Maybe there's someone that's pissed off at Soto and they want to get back at him. We never know.
He
Uh,
might need witness protection program, I tell you that. Or the
he def
DH said that.
I was gonna say he'll definitely need it from the fans, but you never know. Maybe there's some guys on the team that aren't too happy with him. But
Our fans are crazy and passionate, I tell you that.
oh yeah, of course, it's New York, man. That's how they are. But any final thoughts you got before we wrap this one up?
Hopefully the Yankees pick it up after losing two divisional games this weekend, and hopefully Jazz Chisholm can come back healthy again, and hopefully Anthony Volpe's injury is not too serious after he had this weekend.
Yeah, all right. So we're hoping for that positive news, especially like I said with the Subway Series coming up. But that'll do it for episode 39 of JD's Empire Sports Talk. I just want to hope or to encourage everyone to go out there, follow the Instagram and TikTok page. Also follow CT Balling on TikTok and Instagram. Of course, I'll tag him in the two reels that I'll put up in the coming days, and then the full episode. Make sure everyone goes out there and watches that because there's definitely more good content than what we put out on those little minute long reels. There's a lot more that comes with that. But episode 39 is over. For CT, I'm JD. Everybody's
I'm
out.
Chris Thomas, Yankees. Let's go. Torpedo, tornado, tsunami, Yankees in five. Let's
there,
go.
there we go. Uh, See you, everyone.